The NTSB final report is out on Devin Riley's fatal AT-6 stall spin accident that occurred back on July 29th of 2023 and was covered in depth here on the BLANCOLIRIO channel shortly after the accident. This NTSB final report review is brought to you by the patrons who sponsor this channel here on Patreon. After recovering the aircraft from Lake Winnebago and painstakingly going through the entire wreckage to see if there was anything wrong with the aircraft that could have possibly caused this accident, the NTSB probable cause and findings found that the pilot's failure to maintain airspeed while maneuvering, which resulted in the exceedance of the airplane's critical angle of attack and an aerodynamic stall and spin, was the cause of this accident. Airspeed not maintained, angle of attack exceeded, aircraft control, pilot. Remember, this accident occurred at Oshkosh 2 years ago, where Devin was given a ride to a young man, and they'd flown out over the lake here at Oshkosh. I think that's Lake Winnebago, 3,900 feet in kind of hazy conditions, where Devin lost control of the aircraft while maneuvering at an altitude of about 3,900 feet. But the shocking part of this accident lies in the records of the pilot in command. Devin was a fairly new pilot with just 687 hours total time, 33 hours in the AT-6, 580 hours PIC time, 33 hours in accident make and model. An entry dated May 26, 2023 for a 1.0 hour flight was noted as being a checkout flight for the AT-6D airplane, but the entry did not specify maneuvers performed. 1 hour for a checkout in the AT-6 is completely and utterly inadequate. The AT-6 is called AT-6 for Advanced Trainer. The AT-6 program is what prepared pilots in World War II to fly fighter-type aircraft. The AT-6 was intentionally designed to be rather hard to handle and intentionally not easy to fly to get these young pilots prepared for the fighter-type aircraft that they're going to fly in World War II, because these fighter-type aircraft do not have two seats. They're going to jump into those P-51s and P-40s for the first time solo, so they need to be trained up in the AT-6. And the AT-6 program is completely separate from the BT-13 program. It's a whole nother series of flight training to get through the AT-6 program. And here is a haunting reminder from the U.S. Navy of the accident record that they suffered, even despite all of the military training that these pilots were given. Check it out.
This was an airplane. Wings meant to fly, an engine, precision instruments, 10,000 man-hours of labor. And now, it's junk. Here, reduced to statistics, case records, and reports, is the history of airplanes destroyed, wasted, and far worse, of men killed or injured. Here are the scorecards of carelessness and ignorance, the case histories of the final mistakes of hundreds of pilots. Some of them students, some with thousands of hours of flying time.
In the 2 years following Pearl Harbor, many more Navy flyers were killed in accidents than were killed in air combat. Stalls and spins alone killed almost as many flyers as the enemy did. And accidental spins don't just happen. They are caused by pilots who forget what they've been taught. 1, the steeper the bank or the sharper the pull-up, the higher the G. 2, the higher the G and the heavier the load, the higher the stalling speed. 3, keep flying speed always.
Now, what do you think is going to happen if you never got that training in the first place? When the final report is released, sometimes just before the final report is released, the public docket is released, all the data pertaining to the accident, and in this case, including the pilot's logbook. In this accident report, the NTSB only released Devon's number 2 logbook, the second logbook of her career. Nowhere in this young lady's logbook do I see any indication of any professional spin training or advanced maneuvers training in the AT-6 that could have prevented this accident. This second logbook starts at 316 hours of total time and includes flying time in aircraft like the BT-13, Basic Trainer 13 aircraft, and other tail draggers like the 7AC Champ. After an extensive amount of BT-13 flying, we see the first entry for the T-6D aircraft in September of 2022. Looks like a cross-country flight to Midland, Texas, and then a local flight, logged as PIC time. And if we roll forward to May of 2023, we see the AT-6 checkout logbook entry just 2 months before the fatal accident. T-6 checkout flight with Hunter 1.0. And that's it for training in the AT-6 according to her logbooks. If you are going to fly any type of aircraft that has aerobatic capability or a warbird type aircraft, you need to do spin training and you need to practice spins on a regular basis. As an Air Force trained pilot, this is all we did all day long in the T-37, and I continue to practice it to this day in the Waco. And the elimination of spin training in the private pilot curriculum has just reduced the level of knowledge throughout the entire flying community of these vital survival skills. So whoever was mentoring Devon did this pilot a terrible disservice by giving her just simply a 1-hour checkout and then allowed to fly the AT-6 to such busy and complicated airspace as Oshkosh and begin giving rides with no indication that I can see of any spin training whatsoever, let alone advanced training in the AT-6. And this is a common theme I've seen over the years in the civilian warbird community, where nepotism and financing allows you to get into these complicated aircraft, often without proper training, proper maintenance, or a proper level of respect for the inherent dangers of operating this equipment. Thank you so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.